Hi guys, it's Alyssa and welcome to my New York City apartment, specifically my kitchen. You guys probably recognize this space because I shoot a lot of my intro and outro videos right here in my kitchen, but I haven't ever taken you inside. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna walk you through my entire kitchen, how I organize things, where I have everything laid out, and then we'll also take a look at what's in my pantry, as well as everything that's in my fridge and how I organize my fridge. So let's go ahead and get started. Right here in this cabinet are all of my dishes. So we're lucky enough to have really high ceilings in this apartment, which helps us maximize the space. And we have all of our dishes, our everyday dishes, right here. So we have our plates on this one, we have all of our bowls, we have Tupperware, and then up top is just kind of miscellaneous like water bottles, and I have my spiralizer up there. All right, so there is a drawer and a cabinet right here. This is our silverware drawer. Lucky enough, it is quite large. So we have organized stuff from the Container Store. We have all of our silverware, all of our knives, everything like that. Everything in here is from the Container Store, and it helps us keep it all a little bit more organized and tidy. Then this cabinet down below, it's really just like larger appliances and pans. So my Cuisinart, I've got a juicer down there, I've got a mixer, I've got a popcorn maker, I've got my slow cooker. Everything is just kind of shoved down in that one. And then I also have all of my frying pans down here too. All right, on to this cabinet, which I love. This is our oil and vinegars and my tea cabinet. You guys know I am a huge tea fan, so I have a ginormous tea collection. What we have here for our oils and vinegars are two Lazy Susan type things. And basically it just helps us maximize space because we can spin them around. And we have vinegars on one side, oils on the other side. And then in terms of my tea, I have a very large tea selection, like I just said, but I have 4 boxes of tea, little things like this, and it helps me organize all of my tea. Then next to my herbal teas and my bagged teas is the most important part of this shelf and cabinet. It's my matcha and the coffee set. I pull this down every single morning, and it's where I just like always keep all the things that we use every single day. And it's really convenient because it's a little bin, so I can just slide it out. Like you can see, I'm short, so I can't reach up there very well. So this helps me just like really easily get it down every single morning. So then at the very top of this cabinet, I have my loaf pans and my brownie tins, not stuff that I use all that often, and I have a little step stool to help me get all the way up there. Then my spice drawer, or my spice cabinet, I guess you could call it. You guys have also seen pictures of this and how it's organized, but I love this section of the kitchen because it's how I not only flavor all my food, and it's right next to the stove, which is awesome, but it's really well organized. So on the bottom shelf, I have all of my favorite everyday spices, and then up above that, we have like our second tier spices, so the ones that we kind of use on a daily basis. And then I have one shelf that needs another organizer. Right now it's just kind of like haphazardly thrown up there, but it is just kind of our overflow spices and the ones that we don't use all that frequently. And at the very top, I have my bulk spices, and that is a little budget tip for you guys. So I buy the spices that I use most frequently in bulk. So I'll usually buy them on Thrive Market. You guys know I love Thrive Market. I buy their little pouches of organic spices, and they come in like a little plastic bag, and then I just refill these little glass bottles like this. So instead of rebuying one of these every single time, which can get very expensive, I just buy those little organic spice pouches on Thrive, fill this up, and then I am able to save some money, and it's really great. All right, so before I show you my pantry, which is in this one, I just wanna show you quickly the counters because I try to keep the counters as clean as possible. Not always as easy as you can say because there's like a lot of stuff in this kitchen. But over here is where we keep our supplements. I actually buy almost all of my supplements on Thrive Market as well, and it's a really great deal. That's why I do it, and they have really high quality supplements on there. So I have our supplements there, both me and Matt take supplements every day. We also have like olive oil, some sugar, salt, pepper, that kind of stuff. And then over here, obviously we have all of our kitchen utensils, our cooking utensils. This crock right here is for garlic. And then here we just have like the fruit and vegetables that you don't have to refrigerate. So I have my sweet potatoes, I have bananas, I have avocado, of course. I always have avocado on hand. And then this little corner you guys have seen in a bunch of my what I eat in a day videos, but I have my electric tea kettle. I also have a thing of protein powder. I also get all of my protein powder on Thrive. You'll find that it's actually a lot cheaper than buying it at Whole Foods or on Amazon. And then my beautiful Vitamix Blender. This is what I use to make all of my smoothies, my matchas, of course. I use my blender literally multiple times a day. This thing is amazing. And then right behind me, I have my countertop oven. And this is actually the thing that I use most frequently in the kitchen. Instead of turning my oven on, I just cook in there. It's a trick that I have found cooking for just 2 people. It's a lot easier to manage. Now, my pantry. I have showed you guys this, just how it's organized, but I'm gonna walk you through it a little bit because I love my pantry. And this is pretty much what I always have on hand. I actually stock my pantry pretty much exclusively through Thrive Market. I buy all of my nuts, I buy my grains, I buy a bunch of my powders, which I'll show you in a second through there. You really can buy like everything on Thrive. So this one right in front is my big jar of cacao powder. I use cacao powder for my smoothies almost daily, maybe not daily, but very frequently. And just like my spices, I actually buy a bag of cacao powder on Thrive Market, and then I just fill this up. So it's a really great way to just like save space. And then I have all of my powders back here. So the thing that's way in the back is my Lazy Susan. This is a really great way to maximize space. You'll see that I have a bunch of these in the kitchen because we have a small space. It's a really great way for me to organize. I can spin it around and grab what I have and what I need. Easy access to everything basically. So back here are all of my powders. And like I said, I get a lot of my powders from Thrive. So I use Sun Potion all the time. You guys know I really like Sun Potion. These are the things that I add into like my matchas, my smoothies. On this side is my little drawer or bin of protein powders. So this is the protein powder that I use every single day. It's the grain-free one from Garden of Life. This is another great way to save some space because I just can like slide this in the back and it has all of my powders in an organized thing, so the bags aren't everywhere. Then right next to that, I have all of my little adaptogen powders from Root and Bones. These are the things that I add into my matcha every day. And then just like the protein powders, I have a nut butter bin, I guess you could call it. So it slides right in there and I have all of my nut butters in there. So I have almond butter, cashew butter, peanut butter, everything like that, just right in this bin. The next shelf, I have 2 Lazy Susans. This is where I keep a lot of my nuts and seeds, things like coconut. I keep my mulberries here. So this one just spins around and you can see it's all of my nuts and my seeds. I keep them in jars. This is what the Thrive Market ones come in. So I oftentimes will buy bags of this and then I'll refill my own jars. And then on this side, it's the same thing. So I have chia seeds, I have more like dried fruit, coconut, overflow of my powders and my peanut butter, but it's organized a very similar way. This is my grains and my beans shelf. So I actually have an entire bin dedicated to quinoa, duh. This has all of my like quinoa grains. It's really heavy, but it's all of the different colors that I have. And again, you'll notice throughout the pantry, we have a lot of bins so that it's easy for me to access what I need to cook. And then on the other side, this side are things like rice. I also have big bins of beans, so things like red lentils. And then finally on this side are my beans. And then my top shelf is like my overflow shelf. It's the stuff that I don't need access to all the time. So that's kind of my pantry. I'm gonna show you the baking shelf, which is down here below. I have all of my flours and all of my baking supplies down here. I obviously bake a lot. You guys have seen a lot of my baking recipes. And the way that I've organized this shelf is that I keep all of the flours that I use most frequently right in the front, so I actually don't have to spin this thing all the time. And then I also have my sugars here. I have another little bin that has all of the starches, so arrowroot starch, tapioca starch, things like that. So that's pretty much it on that shelf. I have baking powder and things like that over there, and then I have overflow along the sides. And then the bottom shelf, it's another Lazy Susan, and it has my pots and my pans. And then I have my colander, my like measuring cups, and my mixing bowls. All right, guys, we're almost done. A few things left, and then we'll move on to the fridge. So these 2 things right here is just pot holders, dog food, and cutting boards. Not that interesting. And then this is all of my glasses. So I have glasses on this shelf. I have mugs and things like that. So I've showed you these 2 bins before, but I have my snacks up here. So crackers, cereal, cookies, things like that go up here. And then also our little pasta thing. So that has all of our pasta sauces, boxed pasta, everything like that. And then we have the heart of the kitchen, my fridge and freezer. And my freezer is pretty much always stocked with frozen fruits and vegetables because of how many smoothies I eat. I'm working with Cascadian Farms, which is why I have so many of their berries right now. I always keep my toast in the freezer as well because I don't go through bread all that frequently. So my freezer is pretty much always like this. It doesn't usually have a lot of organization to it. My fridge, on the other hand, is a little bit more organized right now. I knew you guys were coming, so we are going to do a little bit more of like an organization here. So this is my little fridge. I'll just give you a quick overview of how things are organized. So top shelf is actually a pull-out tray, but I have all of my matcha in here. So I always just have one tin of matcha going at a time in my tea drawer. All of the other matcha I keep in my fridge because it actually helps prolong the shelf life. This shelf is pretty much always like this. So it's maybe berries if I have those. Right now I just have some fresh figs. And then this little contraption or this little bin, these are all of my protein bars and my energy bars. And then this is our jar slash can slash drink shelf. So on this side, I have all of my drinks, and then things like pickles and salsa and kimchi, maple syrup, tahini, all that stuff goes over on that side. The bottom shelf here is my water filter. You can actually get this water filter on Thrive. Right here, our vegetable drawer. One thing that I actually just bought on Thrive are these little reusable produce bags. So I love these. They actually keep your fruits and vegetables a lot more fresh for longer. We have a shelf right here that is just hot sauces. We have our mustards here. And then down there are the things that we use most frequently. So things like tamari, I have my organic ketchup, I have sriracha, and then I also always have coconut water. And then on this top shelf, I just sometimes have some of my supplements. So I have some vegetal silica, I have some D3, and I have some probiotics. All right, guys, that is my entire kitchen. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was really fun putting this together. If you have any questions for me or anything like that, you can always leave them down in the comments. I also mentioned Thrive a lot in this video, and although it's not sponsored by them, I do just want to tell you guys that if you want to join and you have not yet signed up, there is a link down below that will get you $25 off your first order as well as a free 30-day trial. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.